franchise, and the doubleheader delivered record-setting viewership. The first game between the Lakers and the Knicks averaged 4.5 million viewers across NBC and Telemundo, making it the most-watched Sunday night regular season game since 2002.
The mainstream sports media is attempting to fabricate a story, so you should put everything you are doing on hold and pay close attention to what I have to say. However, the raw data has recently surfaced, and it presents an unquestionable and devastating tale that will forever alter the professional basketball environment. We are seeing a 24-year-old woman from Iowa completely and utterly dominate the sporting world. And you were completely mistaken if you believed that the excitement would subside during the off-season. We go deeper than anybody else to uncover the truth behind the headlines, so welcome back to the channel. And we're dissecting the momentous occasion of Caitlin Clark's NBC broadcast debut today. In addition to breaking records, the incident placed NBA executives in a state of complete disarray as they tried to figure out what had happened. Numbers don't lie, so let's start with the hard data. Narratives and people both lie. However, the ultimate truth serum is Nielsen ratings. The Los Angeles Lakers vs. New York Knicks game on Sunday night marked the return of NBC's renowned basketball coverage. Conventionally, you would say, okay, that is LeBron James versus the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. People will want to watch, of course, but we must consider the context because it is crucial. An average of 4.5 million people watched this program. For the sake of those in the rear, let me reiterate that. With 4.5 million viewers, it was the highest-watched NBA game on a Sunday night during the regular season since 2002. Consider the implications of that. No Sunday night regular season game has brought in as many points in almost 25 years, including Kobe Bryant's heyday, Shaquille O'Neal's whole Miami career, the Steph Curry dynasty, and the heedless period. To end a 24-year drought, Caitlin Clark had to sit at a desk wearing a jacket. It's no accident, either. The host of the video makes a fantastic point on the breakdown of these figures, which is the Caitlin Clark effect in its purest form. NBC hasn't had a regular slot in years, he says. So, simply leaving the TV on did not create an audience. They were viewers of the destination. Because they were aware that Caitlin Clark would be holding the microphone, these individuals deliberately set their alarms and tuned in. And this disproves the claim that her reputation is short-lived or that the competition between the colleges is the only factor. This demonstrates that wherever she goes, the entire American public is drawn to her like a gravitational attraction. Whether she's sitting in a studio dissecting pick-and-roll coverage or dropping dimes on the court, the audience follows her, which gives her a horrifying amount of leverage because the WNBA's power structure was derived from interactions on the set, particularly the controversies surrounding Reggie Miller, who is now considered a legend. He is Indiana's king. However, he made a comparison that left everyone perplexed and staring at the television as though he were insane. He likened Boston Celtics player Peyton Pritchard to Caitlin CL, a generational talent who is literally transforming the GDP of the cities she travels. Let me clarify now. It's a dog, Peyton Pritchard. He's a victor. He hits beaters with buzzers. He grinds. He is a role player, though. He's a man who is a quick learner. It would be like comparing Michael Jordan to Steve Kerr to compare Caitlin Clark to Peyton Pritchard. Steve Kerr is an excellent shooter, yes. He is a champion, to be sure, but he is not the Wheaties box person. It's not him who sells out arenas. This is where the narrative really shines because Caitlin's response to this was flawless. The comparison sounded facile and, to be honest, a little disrespectful to the enormity of what Caitlin Clark represents. She remained calm. It didn't rain when she went. There was no press announcement from her. She trolled when she was on social media. She shared a highlight of Peyton Pritchard along with emoticons of laughter and tears. She embraced the joke. She had a sense of humor and self-awareness that is extremely uncommon among today's athletes, who are typically very sensitive. She essentially answered, "Okay, Reggie, if that is who you think I am, watch this." She also removed the critics' authority by laughing it off. Although she was laughing, her peers were defending her, thus she managed the narrative by refusing to be a victim of it. And we need to talk about this important change in WNBA culture. The Phoenix Mercury actress Sophie Cunningham, who has fought Caitlin on the court as well, appeared as the enforced on her show. With a phrase worthy of being framed in the Hall of Fame, she put an end to the Reggie Miller analogy. According to her, It's probably not the ideal analogy for Caitlyn's generational play. Rehearse that term. Generational. Sophie Cunningham is aware. The players are aware that the story of envy is over. The notion that they despise her has been abandoned. She is the golden goose, and they are realizing it. Furthermore, referring to her as generational places her in the same league as Tiger, Serena, and LeBron. It places her where she belongs on Mount Rushmore and completely removes her from the Peyton Pritchard discussion.
Got a chance to make this again.
That's our welcome to the NBC moment.
There we go.
Feeling it. She
Get
knew
out
it right away. Oh,
This could be a quick NBC.
wow. The warm-up was mine, the win. Uh-oh. All right.
I was being nice last game. Uh-oh.
All right. Straight in. In.
Guess what? In a game, that would still count for a point.
It
so
would. It absolutely would. Boom. Ah.
All right, let's end it.
And you're comfortable.
Oh!
Good job. Great job. Way to move.
The behind-the-scenes story of the Horse S game with Jamal Crawford, however, is the scoop that reveals Caitlin Clark's true nature. So if you truly want to understand what drives her and why she is the way she is, you must listen to it. The segment appeared to be light-hearted and enjoyable when we saw it on television. Everyone laughed when she won 2 of the 3 games. However, the whole narrative was disclosed by the show's producer, Trista Crick, who works for the Daily W, and it is really crazy. It seems like the objective was to play a single HRE game, watch a little TV program, and then get in and out. Caitlin, however, refused to accept the loss after losing the first game. Instead of saying, "Okay, thanks guys. That was fun," and leaving, she turned to face the producers and shouted, "No, run it back. Best of 3. We refer to this as the Mamba attitude. She had the entire production team stay and continue filming until she was able to defeat Jamal Crawford. This is the killer instinct of Michael Jordan. It makes no difference whether it's a ridiculous game of horse in street clothes on a TV set in New York City or Game 7 of the WNBA Championships. Caitlin Clark is physically incapable of enduring defeat. She excels at everything because she has a pathological urge to succeed. That's what separates a legend from a star. Being on television makes a star happy. Only when they are winning does a legend feel content. I got chills when I heard that story because it proves that the fire in her eyes on the court is real. Her DM is this: she will put up a fight until she prevails since she is a competition addict. Even if she has to modify the segment's rules to make it a best-of-3 series, athletes are typically stiff when they attempt to appear on television. They're mechanized. They fear that they will say something incorrectly. However, Caitlin appeared to have been doing this for 20 years. She was referred to as a dweeb and a nerd for the game by Sophie Cunningham, who meant it as the ultimate compliment. She claimed that because Caitlin studies the game, she is an expert in it. She is a basketball sont in addition to being a shooter. Her ability to analyze the game and her interactions with Reggie Miller and Carmelo Anthony proved her basketball intelligence in a way that silenced those who criticize her for being a simpleton. She didn't falter once while she sat there speaking the language of the legends. She merely replied, "No notes," when asked if she had any for Caitlin's performance. This dispels the myth that her teammates are envious or that there is conflict in the locker room because she did so well and I'm so happy of her. She rides or dies for Lexi Hull. Her colleagues' support for her success off the court and her sincerity demonstrate how the Indiana Fever are creating a sisterhood culture that will be extremely dangerous for the upcoming campaign. The connection that develops when your teammates are your biggest supporters is a huge benefit, especially when the rest of the league is still trying to figure out how to stop them.
She had this to say about the whole Peyton Pritchard thing. I don't know if you technically it's to say, but she trolled a little bit, right, with those emojis on a highlight of Pritchard during the Celtics and Mavericks game. Peyton Pritchard hit a buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter. And by the way, Peyton Pritchard is really good.
The commercial ramifications of this NBC premiere must also be considered. When asked if we would see more of Caitlin, NBC Sports President Rick Cordella essentially responded, "Absolutely." He also noted that Caitlin is now a member of the Comcast family because of her sponsorship with Xfinity. There is much more to this strategic alliance than just basketball. Around Caitlin Clark, Comcast and NBC are constructing a media empire. She will serve as the spokesperson for their network sports programming for the ensuing 10 years. Consider the power this provides her in the forthcoming CBA talks with the WNBA. The athletes are battling for better benefits, better travel, and more money. Here, Caitlin Clark demonstrates that she can attract 4.5 million viewers simply by occupying a chair. She is demonstrating to the proprietors that she is the business's product and that without her, the numbers plummet. Robin Lundberg, the video's host, also mentioned how this presence put an end to a basketball fan drought. Since the playoffs concluded, we have been deprived of Caitlin content. People were experiencing withdrawals during the lengthy WNBA off-season. It was like water in the desert, this broadcast. It's shown that there is a constant demand for Caitlin Clark content. All year long, her golf game will be watched. They will observe her as she plays horse. They'll listen to her discuss the weather. People are watching if Caitlin Clark is on the television. Furthermore, it is impossible to create that level of involvement. You can't purchase it. Either you possess it or you do not.
And it was funny, we were only supposed to do one. And Caitlin lost the first one. And she was like, no, best of three, let's do this again. Run that back. And then we were laughing because we were like...
For a moment, let's return to the PTON Pritchard incident because, in my opinion, it reflects a broader problem with the way male analysts discuss female athletes. Reggie Miller most likely didn't intend to offend. It demonstrates a lack of imagination, but he likely believed he was drawing a legitimate connection between size and shooting range. What prevents us from equating her with Steph Curry? Why is she not comparable to Steve Nash or Trae Young? Why is it that physical distinctions are the only reason we need to find a role-player comparison? Sophie Cunningham corrected that mentality by referring to her as generational. It was an appeal for deference. I believe Reggie Miller took away a vital lesson that evening. Stop putting us in these little boxes and start recognizing that our greatness is just as valid as the men's greatness. If you want the entire kingdom to applaud back at you, you don't come for the queen. Speaking of the kingdom, the fans are going crazy in the comments area of these vids. It's overwhelmingly good emotion. Her ability to silence the detractors without uttering a single word is being adored by many. She reveals her detractors' folly just by existing and succeeding. Recall those who predicted she would have difficulty in the league. Recall those who said that once the collegiate fervor subsided, no one would be interested in the WNBA. Now, where are those people? They're in hiding. They keep quiet. Because 4.5 million people can't be argued with. With a sold-out arena, you cannot dispute. Data has shown them to be incorrect. Again and again. Nevertheless, she never stops pushing the envelope. The idea of nostalgia that NBC is embracing is also intriguing. The ancient round ball rock theme song is being revived. They are appealing to the Jordan Erics nostalgia for the 90s. Caitlin Clark is being placed squarely in the heart of that. They claim that she serves as a link between the NBA's NBC heyday and the present day. For a 22-year-old, that is an enormous lot of strain to bear. However, she manages it so gracefully. The expectations don't seem to faze her. She appears to thrive on them, in fact. She did the same in horse racing when she made the producers play a best-of-3 series. She desires the pressure. When the game is on the line, she wants to hold the ball. She aspires to be the sports spokesperson. Caitlin is anticipated to participate in the FIA World Cup qualifying in the coming months. She will shortly return to the court. And the ideal appetizer was this program. It helped her stay in the spotlight. It maintained the momentum and reminded everyone that she is still the most fascinating person in sports, even when she isn't playing. The WNBA needs to exercise extreme caution at this time. They must ensure that this labor agreement is completed. Their biggest celebrity now has options, so they must be careful not to alienate her. She has NBC. When she wants it, a career in broadcasting is waiting for her. She is now well known without the WNBA. She is essential to the WNBA. And the next 5 years of women's basketball will be defined by that change in power dynamics. I want you to consider the trend here carefully. We are witnessing the writing of a history book in real time. Usually, we don't value these times until they pass. When we think back on the Jordan or Kobe eras, we say, wow, that was special. However, we realize that the Caitlyn era is unique at the moment. We know the history as it is being written. Every game, every statement, and every broadcast contributes to the creation of the greatest legacy in women's sports history. She is a unicorn, a unique skill that we will most likely never see again, as evidenced by the fact that she can walk onto a set with no prior experience and outperform seasoned pros. Take a look at the scoreboard. Check out the ratings. Examine the effects on culture. Not only did Caitlin Clark win the evening, the war was won by her. With a smile on her face and a deadly competitive streak that would make Michael Jordan happy, she demonstrated that she belongs on the biggest platforms in the world. The golden ticket has been discovered by NBC, and they will not let it go. In all honesty, we shouldn't either, as witnessing her climb to the summit of the mountain is currently the most captivating spectacle on the planet. I'm curious about your thoughts on this matter. Of the 4.5 million viewers, were you among them? Have you seen Kate's Just for Kate? What are your thoughts on the Reggie Miller analogy? How much do you like that she insisted on a best-of-3 series and worse? Was it rude or just a lousy take? I've read them all, and I'd want to know what you think of this momentous occasion, so please share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked this in-depth look, be sure to hit the like button. We will be following Caitlyn's trip at every stage, so be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates and to hit the notification bell. We appreciate your time and hope to see you again soon.